Welcome back to my Colorado Mountain Garden. And tomorrow is going to be the first day that I actually have seeds in soil. And that's going to be rosemary. I like using these smaller seed trays because I can spin them, turn them, everything like that. I do cut them in half so I can pull them out if I need to remove them. As things germinate differently. And so usually when I plant, a lot of times I do things in sixes. Uh, Not always. Sometimes it's 3 and 3, especially with peppers. Similar peppers, I will let germinate and just have a row of 3. But I put my masking tape along the bottom versus trying to use any sort of layout on graph paper or the little popsicle sticks or whatever, because it's easier for me to follow. So if you can see here, if I only did a 3, I'd put a line here and then I could say that this was this type of species, this was this type of species of seed. So for the rosemary on this side where it has the paper towel, I started those on 123.23. And I did those in paper towel, then stuck them in a warm place. And today I have about 6 or 7 seeds that have germinated. So I'm going to move those into the soil. I don't want to leave them in the paper towel for too long. I don't want them to mold or anything like that. So I'm going to plant them tomorrow. I used my phone and scrolled in really close to see the actual seeds that had started germinating, and there were several that were about ready to burst open also. So I may have more tomorrow when I put them in, but I'm going to have to use tweezers because those little seeds are just so tiny. And then my other thing that I'm going to do is I have on this side, I'm using them straight out of my refrigerator. They've been in the refrigerator for over a month. Vernalizing or cold stratifying, what everybody uses different wording for it. But basically with rosemary, it's better if they have had the cold stratification, which basically you're tricking the seed into thinking it went through a cool period. So in theory, you're supposed to get more germination. And I will say that the fact that it's only been 5 days since I started these in paper towel, that's the quickest I have ever seen rosemary pop through using the paper towel method. So just something to think about. My seed starter of choice this year, and I'm just going to raise the camera up here, and I used this last year also, but I also used Espoma, is the seed starter from Coast of Maine. And I also use Coast of Maine's Coddy Blend compost, which is a lobster compost. And I have used Espoma for years, but they have just gone through the roof as far as price goes. And since I used this last year, I knew I liked it. And then I found it on sale towards the end of the year. So I picked up a few more bags. I thought I was going to get away with not having to sterilize this soil. Basically, soilless blends of seed starter, you don't need to sterilize to worry about molds and stuff like that. But after looking at this and looking online and everything like this does contain compost, and compost is a soil. So I did go ahead and sterilize the little bit that I needed. And, well, I sterilized a little bit more than I needed, but I used just these little small coolers, and I reuse them year after year. So let me just scroll in here so you can see what that compost looks like. Not compost, sorry, soil starter. There's a few big pieces, but it's nothing like the Miracle Grows seed starting mix. To me, it just has way too many big sticks and stuff like that, and I don't want to pay for a stick. This also contains mycorrhizal, kelp. It says fully cured compost. You can see it right down there. Lobster meal, worm castings, the whole bit. But I did go ahead and sterilize it, and that's only because I don't like bugs and I don't like mold. I didn't go as drastic with it. I just did my stuff in the microwave for this batch. Um, and I was going to wait to plant my rosemary until I started my peppers, which will be around between the 14th and the 17th of February. But since they sprouted, which I was not expecting to see sprouts, except for way closer to that time, I'm going to go ahead and plant them tomorrow. They will be on a heat mat, and I tested my heat mat. My heat mat without the little tray runs about 82, and I set a tray on top of it. The inside of the tray, so inside under the soil here, so under these blocks, it's about 80 to 81. So that's fine with me. I don't have thermostatic controlled heat mats. I know a lot of people swear by them. I purchased VivoSun is the brand, and I've had them for several years. They work fine. They keep working fine. I don't find any hot spots on them or anything like that. So this particular container here, now when you can see that there's some fogging on it, but that's because I hydrated this soil with some warm water. So I filled it up with warm water, let it absorb for about 15-20 minutes, and then I dumped the rest out. And then this is going to go on top of the heat mat so that everything's nice and warm tomorrow when I plant my seeds. It's supposed to be really cold here, and we're supposed to get more snow. We've gotten snow off and on all day, so it'll be just something fun. And hey, I'm finally growing. So I hope you're having a wonderful day and happy gardening.